LiberalViewer presents.
So Democratic Senator Tim Kaine, his answer he gave to Dana Bash over on CNN State of the Union, this is on how Congress is pretty much reneged on its responsibility to declare war and set limits on where the United States and the executive branch puts its forces, and he actually admits that both Democrats and Republicans told the president before the November election, we don't want you to bring this issue up, so don't ask us for any authorization for use of military force. But apparently that's actually going to happen in the next week or two, as he tells Dana Bash on CNN State of the Union here.
You mentioned it's been 6 months, which is kind of hard to believe, since the airstrikes have started. It's been happening without a new authorization from Congress, which you have been calling for since day one. We now think that it's actually going to, at least the wheels are going to start moving this coming week.
Yes.
What took so long?
Well, Dana, it is not a pretty sight, and I'm really sort of very discouraged, but frankly, both by the administration and by Congress. When the president started this war on the 8th of August, I indicated right from the start that there were not existing legal authorities from 2001 and 2002 that would justify this action. And as soon as we decided to engage in a war on ISIL, and that's what the administration has called it,
Senator,
Congress needed to weigh in.
And what is the administration saying to you, a fellow Democrat who's been very outspoken about why they've dragged their feet so long?
Well, partly because the congressional leadership went to the administration in July, both houses and both parties. And I'm sad to say this, Dana, but the leadership went to the White House and said, do what you need to do. We would rather not take this up before a midterm election. So I introduced a resolution in September authorizing limited military action against ISIL, but Congress wouldn't vote on it before the midterm. And then I pushed it after November, and I was able to get a vote in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee defining this mission in a limited way. We voted out a bill of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in December, but the House hasn't even been willing to talk about this in a committee. And I'll tell you what offends me about this. We've already lost American service members' lives in this operation, and we've done it without Congress being willing to do the job of having a vote. If we're going to ask people to risk their lives, then Congress ought to do our job and put our thumbprint on this mission and say it is in the national interest. I think the White House will send an authorization up. There's going to be some hard questions about it, but I think the president will find strong support in both houses for taking appropriate military action.
Senator, let's just...
I think Senator Tim Kaine is right in saying that Congress has shirked its responsibility and should have actually held hearings and votes and either stop President Obama from doing as much as he's doing or put limits on it, and decided, what circumstances there would be these so-called boots on the ground. And even boots on the ground is not a very descriptive term, since we have like 3,000 troops there, but just not combat troops. And anyway, I thought that was an important clip to show on what's happening with the authorization for use of military force. So let me know what you think. Should the U.S. Congress vote to authorize the use of military force against ISIS? And if it does, what limit should the U.S. Congress put on the use of military force against ISIS?
YouTube, you decide.